Good afternoon, LightSpeed Nation. We've got Marcus here at LightSpeed headquarters in Venice, Florida, and then I have an awesome special guest today that we are bringing to you. You probably already know this guy. This is Jon Spaugy. He is leader of the BIG, Brokers Independent Group out of California. They are the second largest independent association in the state, and these guys know what they're doing. And I just want to say, from LightSpeed's side and from my side, second largest doesn't mean anything because they've got the biggest heart, they've got the biggest education, and they've got the best agents. That's all that matters.
We are the most active. That's
Absolutely.
For sure.
So today I wanted to come on and share some stuff with all of the LightSpeed Nation, all of our friends, and make sure that everybody's prepared for the show in May in Ontario, California, and we'll give the dates here at the end. But first of all, I wanted to introduce Jon, and just full disclosure, Jon and I have become amazing friends over the last several years. BIG became a client several years back. We have been to every show. We try to go every time that we can. Sometimes we can't get out there because he's so far away, and we just can't get him to move to Florida, but we're trying. But, you know, when we come out, you know us, and when we come out and we talk about passion and care for the industry, this man has got it. He actually showed me what shows can be and what education and camaraderie looks like. And that is awesome. So, Jon, thank you. Welcome, man. Say hi to LightSpeed Nation.
Thank you. Hey, LightSpeed Nation. Let's do this, baby.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now, Jon, kind of where you came from, and tell us a little bit about the association.
Sure. Just real quick, where I came from. It started out with my dad. Then I got introduced to my mom, and all of a sudden they had a beautiful, intelligent baby boy. But really in the insurance industry, I started.
Wait, is that your brother?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about my brother because my brother was the favorite of the family, like growing up, and I'm quickly overtaking him as we get older.
I like it.
You know, if you have siblings, all you really need to do is wait till you get to a certain age, and at a certain age, you know, all of a sudden you have the edge. So exactly. He can still beat me at golf, but I think in another 15 years, I think I'll have the edge on him in golf too. But anything that requires like real athleticism, I think I can get him now. I think I can out hustle him.
I love it.
But I started my career actually working with my mom and dad when I was 21 years old, fresh out of the Navy. I've been on the company side. I worked for an agency for about 5 years. Broke my thumb, had to go to a county hospital, and I don't know if you've ever had to go to county hospital, but at that point, I needed the security of having benefits. I went on the company side for about 17 years. I went through underwriting, commercial underwriting, corporate underwriting, customer service, then finally made it to sales. Worked for a bunch of companies, FIC, Unitrend, Kemper. It's all the same company. I was at AIG. I was at the Hartford. I was at GMAC. I was at the General. And about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, I started our agency with my partner, Rolando Racinos.
Great guy.
Since then we've opened a couple more agencies. I started the insurance association. It's going to be 10. It is actually 10 years now.
Yep.
The original idea was that with the association was to just be in my little local area here. We had a big hole of not having associations in the area. I remember when I first got in the industry, how important it was for agents to share with each other and just be able to come together. And we just didn't have that anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I know a lot of the backstory and we don't have to go deep into it, but, you know, even from what I know, it was driving for education and passion, right? You weren't getting that from the number one association at the time. And I don't think you ever meant to be as big as you guys are now, right?
No, it really wasn't. It was supposed to be for the local area. Our very first meeting, we had over 200 people come out to. Shortly after that, we did our first trade show. We did it on a Wednesday during the week. And same thing, got about 60, 70 insurance companies out, had about 600 agents come out just for one day. And then it kind of took off from there. Now we do stuff across the state. More importantly, we do stuff throughout the year. So, you know, a lot what's going on right now is with a lot of the associations, they do a trade show, they do some webinars, give back a little. We like to put asses in classes.
Exactly.
Hopefully nobody gets offended with that, but we like to have meetings that we can actually be interactive with and get the information out. And then we're really, if you look at the core of us, we're really education and networking more than anything. And the real reason for that is to be able to get companies and vendors in an environment to meet agents and vice versa. You know, sometimes it's really hard just to do webinars or just to try to do an intro to your product without them actually being able to sit down and actually really talk to you. So.
Well, and you know, you're in one of the toughest insurance markets in the country. And also what, you know, coming from our side, talking to vendors out there that might be looking at your show, right? We came into California thinking we knew how to do things. We came into California thinking we knew how to talk to people because that's all we were doing all the time, all across the country. Our first couple trips to California, we almost gave up. It was a crazy learning experience for us to realize how important, even though it's a huge state, how important that relationship is, how important the face-to-face, the time, and the care is. And it varies even from Southern California to Northern California, which honestly, I still haven't figured out Northern California. We'll get there one day, I hope. But kind of speak to that and kind of the engagement that you really demand out of not only your members, but the engagement you really want to see out of your vendors.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you mentioned Northern California because we haven't quite figured it out yet either. You know, we have a show. It's actually pretty decent every September. But honestly, if we get 200 people out to that show, that's considered a success.
Right.
In our early days down in Southern California, if I didn't get 200 people to a meeting, you know, I was upset. Right. So it's just a different sell. But the one thing I will tell you with California, and this is really important for any vendor that comes out, the state's always separate from any other state. Every company that I've ever worked for, it's been everything but California. The one thing with California agents is they're kind of slow to react to new companies or new markets coming in or vendors coming in. But if you make the effort and you come out consistently, you know, it's not just going to be one show and, you know, you may get some sales out of it, but it's really, and the word spreads like crazy out here once they get onto a vendor or a company that is actually really working for them. Yeah. They will really get on board with you. So I always tell like vendors that come out to our show, like, you know, don't just come to the show and say, okay, what was my ROI on it? Because it'll probably be good for somebody that needs exactly what you have at that time.
Exactly.
But in the long run, for people to really get on board with you, they just need to see you. They need to see you consistently. And that's the one thing that we try to put in front of people. You know, I always tell vendors, and most people don't take me up on it, but like our membership, we offer for vendors, we offer like a couple email blasts. We offer you to be able to speak at a meeting. Yeah. We try to put you out in front of not just our members, but the industry as much as possible. Because bottom line is, we want you to have a successful show. I want you back every year. And, you know, kind of understanding, especially for companies from back east, you know, again, California does have quite a few shows compared to other states. So it's not just the one and done. So actually coming out, getting involved, and making sure that you're in front of the agents. You know, it's almost like the follow up on you know, an auto client. You know, sometimes you have to hit them like 4 or 5 times, you know, before they see you. And
Speaking of,
quite
I'm hearing
honestly,
seven. Seven's the new number.
yeah, seven times. And I got to be honest with you, 7 times on email you're not getting in front of them. Like I
No.
said, the nice thing is we provide a platform for you to get in front of them, face to face, talk to them. The most important part of the show, quite honestly, is it's not just your vendor time. It's the
No.
time in the bars. It's the time outside. It's the time,
Dancing.
can actually talk to people. So
It,
dancing.
it's the dancing and the after. So one thing that I can attest to is the first couple times out there it was rough until ironically you and I ran into each other at a completely separate show, and we pretty well became extremely fast friends. And that's when I started seeing a different way to do things. And since then, it's very odd. I've got some of my best friends, including you, your wife, Rosa, your entire team. Like some of my best friends are out there now. But even I want to give a big shout out to a new client that we're bringing on right now, which you know very well, John, Mario Luna.
Yes.
Mario and I have been friends for 3 years, 3 years. And I never pressured Mario to come over, but we just all happened to be at a show here several weeks ago, and Mario's finally coming over. It's a long term and the reliability and trustworthiness of people when you're going out to California shows. That's simply what it comes down to. It's a neat state to do business in because you got to relearn.
Yep.
But another thing I kind of want to address, so, another kind of full disclosure, John has been traveling all over the country with me here lately. And he's been to the AI Brain Share show with me with Jason Cass's group, which was awesome. I thought I was going to get kicked out for that one at first, but it has turned out to be absolutely phenomenal. We were at IAOA together, and we've been quite a few other places together. I can't even think at the moment, but what we have really looked at doing is seeing all the education and the camaraderie going on at a national level. And really, even outside of California, we're inviting everybody. I know we're inviting clients from all over the place to the show in May, our captive, our independent, because, with the show, the one thing that we learned from other shows, right, John, is vendor time is vendor time. People don't like to be sold to, right? But education was severely lacking. So what are you doing different this year for the BIG conference?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things, and we've gotten a little bit of pushback on it so far, just because people didn't understand what
Right.
we were doing with it, and we're actually moving the convention to be during the week.
Yeah.
So it's going to be check-in's going to be Monday night. The actual trade show is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll wrap it up Thursday morning with a legal update and probably technology update.
Yep.
So a lot of people didn't understand that at first. And we've been slowly getting the messaging out on that. Quite honestly, we don't just want the show filled with a bunch of people. We really want to get the agency owners and the leaders of the company out there.
Exactly.
And, unless it's a single shop, it's the agency owner and the leadership should be able to get out to the event.
Right.
So I always say there's like 3 things. You either charge people a whole bunch of money and they're going to come out.
Yep.
You put it at a destination location and, you get the owners out that way. And then the third thing that you can do is actually do it during the week and then just provide like phenomenal content. And I think that's going to be our big change that people aren't used to this year compared to the last, because in all the other prior years, it was primarily about the vendors and getting people connected to the vendors. And it's not that we don't want people connected to the vendors, but we do want this to be about educating the agency owners and the leaders of the companies on all the new stuff that's happening out there.
Right.
California, the same thing. Like, to be honest with you, they're a little slow on the technology side of what's going on. And
Which is mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think Silicon Valley, you think all the tech, San Francisco, you think all of the things, but I'm with you. It was mind-blowing to us to walk out there and even talking about what we offer as a VoIP system, people were like, what is this? I'm like, wait a minute, what's happened here?
Yeah, it's like I said, for as much as you think California agents would be on top of stuff and that, A lot of them are stuck in their ways, and that's going to be the importance of this convention more than anything. Like I said, the speakers that we have coming in are a lot of them I actually heard at IOAO. I
Yep.
actually heard of them
now,
at
now
different
you sound like our
events.
buddy Jason Cass here, EIAOIEO.
Yeah, Jason caused that. Jason has now made an industry trend of saying IAOA the wrong way.
Yes, it is. It's rough. It's rough. We're just going with innovation now. Innovation. So that
Yeah.
is the really exciting part. So I think this is going to blow a lot of people away. People in the Lightspeed Nation that knows what we've been doing, and it's going to blow a lot of people away on the independent agency side altogether. So why don't you go ahead and lay it out for us? Who are we hearing from this year?
Yeah, so actually one of the people that we're going to hear from is actually you. So I don't know if you knew that you were officially a speaker for us, but you
I
are.
found that out
I
like
got
just about 2 seconds ago.
again, actually with the conversations that we had and the fact that a lot of these agency groups that you've been in on, I definitely want to hear from like your perspective on what's going on in the industry and how we're starting to connect. I got Jason Cass coming out from Agency Intelligence,
Yes.
really going to talk about data and who owns our data and what we do with it, what gets done with that data.
And the gray separator, right? What the big rage is in the market and what happened to IAOA. We're going to continue those conversations with that guy. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, believe me, there's a lot of collaboration going on. IAOA kind of brought that word to the forefront for agency groups or agency owners. Now what we're trying to do is making sure that we're having the same type of collaboration across the country with agency groups and that. So I got Mike Madonna. He's been working his butt off on the Workers' Comp Renegade program.
That guy's a great guy all the way around.
Yeah.
Talk about industry knowledge. Holy moly.
Yeah, I've had him come out to our office, talk to our staff. I've seen some of the stuff that he's actually putting together. It's just next level stuff, especially if you're getting in workers' comp, because it goes into more than just selling a workers' comp policy and letting your client out there to fend for himself. It's really getting involved with like the claims aspect and getting people back to work and making sure their mods don't get increased. You're talking about like a couple $1,000 that could save somebody on his workers' comps like $10,000-$20,000 over the years just because you got involved and you helped them out. And, once that gets out, like it's a game changer. So
yeah, and I don't know if you guys are experiencing in California, but one thing that we're seeing here in Florida, a lot of ads lately about being at the whim of the workers' comp company. So if you actually are genuinely caring about your team and your employees, and you're just buying workers' comp, and then they're going to decide where that employee gets care after that, that could be a bad thing for you, your employee, time out, and long-term care for culture, right? So that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, we go through cycles, especially in California. Right now, every company seems to want to dabble in workers' comp. Believe me, things start getting bad. It's very difficult to get it out here. So what we really want to make sure is that we're training agents the right way to help their client out and really get them involved. Where in the past, maybe you don't get involved. Maybe you do just let whatever happens. The problem with that is that's bad for the whole market. So now that we have somebody's coming on that's really going to teach people how it works, how to keep mods down, it's a game changer. Like it's just simply a game changer. We don't have anything like that, at least that I know of in our industry right now, and somebody that cares so much about helping the client out, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
That's
so,
it. And it
anyway, I have him coming out.
It honestly brings it all back to kind of that customer-centric mindset too for agents, right? So if you're in the business of helping people and you're in the insurance industry, hopefully you're doing it not only to make money, but you're doing it to be there for people and to be a lifeline for them. So honestly, all of the speakers, all of the education starts to really tie in together. for making yourself a much better agent, making yourself able to survive anything that's coming up in the future and still have business.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Even in my business plan, they have the always be closing thing, and
Yes,
I have the always be caring. If you're always
that's it.
caring about your client and your customer, like things will work out the right way. So
That's it, man.
I should have that TM in my business plan. But that's something that I've kind of lived by all my life. If you care about stuff, if you care about your client, if you care about the job that you're doing, like things will always work out the right way.
I think
So
that's going on to the front of the T-shirt that we're having made for the slogan this year. Always be caring, and I just won't say the other part because that seemed to get me in trouble last time. Just leave that alone.
yeah, we're not going to mention that, but we know what that means.
Yep.
I got Nick Ayers.
Wow.
He's killing it with his YouTube stuff. He's killing it with his marketing. He's killing it with IAO. that it's another example. It's another example of showing like, hey, if you're doing stuff and you're caring about like taking care of other people, like what can happen in the industry.
Right.
Dave's done a phenomenal job. I'm super stoked that we actually have him
Really
coming out
have.
to speak at.
That's like headliner news right there too, right?
Yeah,
This guy
yeah,
just filled up
yeah.
a conference center with 1,000 agency owners paying good money to come be part of this. It was crazy what was happening in that show. And now heading out to California to share the same love. That is awesome.
Yep. I got Wesley Anderson coming out from Agency VA.
Nice.
If you guys have not met Wesley or heard him talk, like you're missing out. We always talk about like the way the industry is going to get changed is by somebody that's not in the industry.
Right.
He works with virtual assistants and that, and like I said, his background's more tech than it is insurance, and he's learning the insurance side. But again, if you guys have not heard of him, like look him up. Like he's absolutely killing it in the industry, and it's just a different, fresh perspective of how to run an agency and how to best utilize like your staff to really focus on sales. So he's coming out. I got Mike Stromso, which is a California
Nice.
boy. He does Unstoppable Profit Center. Amazing group that's out there. Same thing. Somebody else that kind of shows you like the way to do it by giving back and teaching what you've known over the years. Nick says this all the time, and I love it. I think it's one of the best things because as a show gets bigger, as you get more people like rooting you on. At a
Right.
certain point, you get people that kind of want to knock you down. So Nick says it from the beginning of every show. You may not agree with everything that we have to say, but come out, keep an open mind.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like I can promise you, all these people that we're bringing out have the biggest hearts in the industry, and
No
they
joke.
care about helping people grow. This isn't an easy thing to do. A lot of us have to take a lot of time off our own businesses to put these together. And even though you have to treat them like a business, trust me, it's a passion product for most of these people that are actually doing things and trying to help people out.
If they come out breaking even, I think a lot of people don't understand that a lot of times. When you put something like this on, you're lucky to come out breaking even, right? And then the stress and the crazy that goes with it. I know you're making millions doing these, right, Jon?
I
Uh,
used to tell people all the time, if I was doing this for the compensation side, I could honestly go flip burgers at McDonald's and put in the same hours and make more out of this than what I do. And it really does come down to that. Like,
yep.
People that do this is kind of like it just, as soon as one event's done, you're working on the next year already.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same thing. As soon as you get done with helping and training like one person, you're thinking of how you can help and train other people, like immediately. and it's just
Yep.
it's in our DNA.
Well, see, what most people don't know is you're really 36. You just look like you're 50 now, right? And happy birthday, by the way. I'm very sorry I missed your birthday.
I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. I'm very proud of it. So I've told everybody next year I'm going to be 49 though. So we're counting backwards. So
I like it.
hopefully I make it to be 1 year old or 0 years old. Like that's to go, hey, who was that?
That was our famous accountant Dan over there. He's coming in to check on you.
Going through the list, Gray. I got him coming out. You know, I've actually only seen him speak in person once, but man, if you guys have not heard him speak, phenomenal speaker.
Yes.
The message that he has coming out, I haven't even talked to him about what he's going to speak on yet, and I already know it's going to be great.
Yeah, he could talk about the water cooler that's in your kitchen, and you would love it.
You guys heard Preston speak at IOAO, or if you weren't there, like you missed out. What a great story!
Yes.
Actually, his book is doing incredible. Preston, you still owe me a book. I know that you were over in Thailand and doing mastermind marketing stuff over there. But I still need the book.
Well, I just want to let you know, I got my book with my personal inscription in it. They're already good to go. Just FYI, no qualms there, John.
And then honestly, McBilly. We got McBilly coming out.
Oh too. Yeah.
So just phenomenal. He's good vibe squad, squad, feel good marketing. I think he does that with Preston as well. Great people. You guys are going to learn so much at this convention compared to the past. We also have a women's breakfast going on. And we will have some women speakers that I just haven't quite got together yet.
I think on the women's speakers side, we're going to have Laura Harris and Kristen Reynolds Zoom in. They're not going to be able to be there in person, sadly, but I think we've got those guys zooming in for that meeting to speak about some of their trials and tribulations. I know Laura is a victim of domestic
that's
violence.
going to be awesome.
Yeah. So it should be amazing. Wish they could be there. I'm a little jealous about them being in Hawaii, but not mad.
I'm gonna have to get with my speakers too, and also the vendors to really help promote this one. We do a good job of trying to get the word out. There's stuff that I'm really good at, stuff that I'm not so good at. One of the things is getting the techie stuff together and to get the message out. I'm phenomenal in the state with agencies that I've known over the year, marketing reps that I've known over the year, but we really want this show to stand out above the other shows that we've done in the past. Because like I said, quite honestly, we have just copied what other associations done.
Right.
Yes, we've had some good content, but the show has been completely vendor focused. And I really want this education and this knowledge that we have out there with these people that are willing to come out and share with their time. I really need to get that kicked up. But what I've been doing so far, Marcus, is I've been concentrating on just the vendors. I am going to close out vendor registration on March 1st.
Okay.
And that's so that we can completely blitz the area for agents to come out.
Yeah, and I'll tell speaking from the vendor side, we want to see other awesome vendors, and I know we're going to be reaching out to some fellow vendors that we run around with. But guys, if you've done this show in the past, and this is my sales pitch to other vendors because I love this show. This is the only California show we do anymore. But if you want to come out and be involved, get involved in the conversation, see some of the great speakers yourself. We will help drive some traffic to you. We will help get you some notice, even from the LightSpeed side. We want this to be amazingly successful. We're going to have captive agents. We're going to have independent agents. We're going to have hybrid agents. We're going to have business leaders. I mean, this is going to be a mind meld, and we want to see some awesome fellow vendors out there.
One of the things that's going to be cool is actually getting some more of the captives involved.
Yep.
And a lot of they've always been invited to the show. But the big problem is I don't think they've felt welcomed.
Right.
And I don't know if that's necessarily our fault or just the fact that we've dealt with independent agents for so long. And that's what I grew up in the industry with. So actually being able to get the word out to the captives that, yes, you're more than welcome to come out. You're going to learn stuff that you're going to be able to use in your own business.
Yeah.
Besides like meeting with vendors. So I think the nice thing with the captives in the past, who they were captive with, pretty much gave them all the tools that they needed.
Yeah.
And that's just not happening. That's just not happening as much. And now they're actually giving them the ability to use other people that wasn't there in the past. So, the vendors that come out are still going to be extremely important to them as well.
Exactly.
So I think getting that word out and getting that messaging out. And this is the one thing I will ask of the vendors, because this is a horrible thing that happens every year. In fact, I've even offered in the past, and we'll see this year. I have no problem like giving you a discount towards next year's booth for helping us getting people there.
Right.
What I don't like, and just because it puts so much work on us, is when you're a vendor, you're going to be there, and maybe we need to come up with something that kind of helps you, like say, hey, I'm going to be at the show. But I seen it at the IAOA show this last time, and like I said, it really kind of hurts more than it helps. Is if you're a vendor and you're going to come out, like start advertising that you're coming out like early.
Yes.
What happens at most shows is the vendors will say, hey, the week of, hey, we're going to be there. Come see me at booth so-and-so. As an event planner, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
Exactly. Well, and another thing that we know that you guys don't do, you don't share your attendee list. And I know a lot of vendors look at that as, oh, well, we're whatever, we're not going to do it. But, again, we're a vendor. So I'm going to say that you've got your own clients in states that you go and deal with. You've got social media. You've got marketing. You could share the BIG posts. I just kind of want to go back to that whole piece of it. Be involved. Be involved. This is not, hey, walk out and just give me business. We have to do it. And as good friends as you and I are, John, you don't give us an attendee list. I stopped asking like 2 years ago. And it was good. So but we try to push, ourselves out there. And we've become involved. And, I can share with 2 or 3 people that I still am great friends with out there. And it's all over California in a matter of 10 minutes. So it's what it's all about, right?
There's a reason why we don't do that. We put on our website from the beginning that we don't share like attendee lists with third-party vendors. And then I don't know, like as a producer, I can tell you, like I go to a show. I was going to create a card just for trade shows with a separate email address. Yeah. It's not just the vendors that are in the show. Like there's companies that offer me money all the time for our list. And the problem is, it really becomes ineffective at that time.
Oh yeah.
Especially at the shows. There's just so many emails and so much stuff that goes out. Like I said, personally, when we first set up the association, we put that on the website. I've been offered money all the time for the list. I've had exactly what you said. I've had vendors not participate because we didn't give them the list. We want you to have the absolute best show ever. If anybody knows me, they and if you don't know me, like somebody will probably tell you, like my heart and soul goes into this show, and I want the best for our members. I want the best for the attendees, and I definitely want the best for the vendors as well. But actually giving out that list, again, I just think it's not as effective as you actually getting somebody's card or you following up with them.
It's just not productive. It's not a productive marketing means nowadays. And I mean, some companies do business that way, and that's all good and great. And if you get 1% out of 10,000 after sending them 4,000 emails, then good, but come on, let's be a community and support the community. And I'll say that from our side too.
One of the things that's really cool with our show that separates us from some of the others too is we are constantly involved with education in the insurance schools in the state. And what that does is that actually brings on a lot of new blood. Like if you've been to some conventions, like, after like 3 or 4 years, you see the same people every time. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to see, old friends. You want to be out there and maybe you get the business from them,
right.
After 2 or 3 years. But you also want a show that's really involved in the industry that constantly looks to get new people in. And that's where we're at. We really do try to get as many new people in as we can, and get people exposed to not just what's going on in the industry, but what's going on in their office as well.
Yes.
And like I said, that's going to be one of the other things that we're focusing on is like how to actually help you grow your business in that. So, hopefully we get you out there. Hopefully you kind of understand. I promise you our show will not suck because of lack of caring.
Yep. Well, that and the speakers and everything else. So we're running right at time. So let's do this. Dates, location.
So it's sorry, it's actually a really big deal for us this year. This is our 10th year of putting on shows. We've always done it like the first weekend in May. We're actually doing it May 6th through May 9th. So we're still in that first
awesome.
week, but it's really a Monday through Thursday type show. Monday is really just the vendors getting set up and the early registrations for you. DoubleTree is where we're doing it.
Ontario, we lost you just for a second there, John. So that's going to be the Ontario DoubleTree.
The airport DoubleTree in Ontario. That's actually where we did our first show at. That's where we do our Christmas parties at. If you know me, that's where I go to Misty's all the time.
Yeah.
It's a cool hotel. It has it's a little bit smaller than some of the other venues that we've done, but yes. Honestly, there's a live band every night of the week. So there's a place for you to network there. There's a lobby bar that you can network at. We have a place that's separate from the trade show just for the speakers to be. We'll have breakout rooms. Just a really good place for us to do the convention. It's closer to LA this time.
And let's just say it's a lot less expensive. I'm going to go on the less expensive side for drinks and food and
everything. Everything is going to be a lot less. I think the room rate is like $159 instead of like $259. It is important if you are coming though that you get registered under our block, because I'll tell you with the hotels, as soon as they start filling up, and once our block's sold out, it's sold out. If you did not get registered under that block, you may be paying double the price. And as an event coordinator, I hate that. But it's also really hard, like if I extend myself out on the room blocks and then we don't have people show up for the rooms. Yeah. So we won't have that problem this year, but it is something to be aware of. Like, make sure you get your room. There's other hotels around, but you really want to be at the same hotel as the event.
Exactly. So guys, LightSpeed Nation, both clients and vendor friends, we're going to be sharing this a lot. I'm honored to be a speaker. I'm honored to be there with all of the other speakers. These are my idols in this industry. Jon is one of my idols in this industry. I love this guy. So you see the website behind Jon. It's BIGINSUSA.com. That's BIGINSUSA.com. Get there, register. We want to see you. And Jon, thank you so much, man, for taking the time with us today. We appreciate it. And the LightSpeed Nation appreciates it. And we cannot wait to see you. Thanks for everything you do for us.
Thanks, Marcus.